Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you how to change a coolant expansion tank on a 2006 Audi A4.
But like, I don't know if it would affect, it's just say B7.
So it'll be the same for any Audi B7, so the same for year about 2005, some 2005 up to 2008, and some other vehicles. Okay, so you're gonna make sure you want to do this always when the car is very hot. Take it for a long drive, and then you just take the cap off and just no, but seriously, make sure it's cool, make sure it's not hot, because this will explode and you'll burn your face. First, you're going to start off by loosening the cap to make sure that there's no pressure in the system. Okay, then you're going to start off by loosening this screw. Alright, and then it should just slide in here, but it looks like it broke and somebody put zip ties. You may also have a screw back here. But we're just going to go ahead and cut that zip tie off. You're going to want to go ahead and use the rustiest cutters you can find, so it's a giant pain in the ass. Okay, now that that is out, that's gone, and the zip tie's out, this should be pretty loose. It just moves around. Next thing you're going to want to do is remove this electrical connector so you don't rip the wires out. Okay, so now we have the coolant tank tipped up so you can see. You're just going to press on this tab with a screwdriver or something. You're going to press on it and at the same time pull it out, and it should come right out. Okay, so now we're going to put a drain pan down there to try and catch as much as the coolant. We won't be returning it to Mother Earth today because we got to reuse this coolant. We're going to try and reuse as much as we can. So the next step is going to be to remove this clip. Just squeeze it, give it a twist, it should come right off. Okay, now that the clamp is totally off the nipple, then you can just pull the hose off. You're just going to give it a twist, and it should come off with a little bit of persuasion. Out. Alright. Give it a twist and it should come right out. Now some coolant may leak out when you take it off. Just take it off slowly. Okay. And then we'll just set that somewhere out of the way so it doesn't leak. Right there looks good. Okay, then we just have that last hose to take off. You need a flathead screwdriver. Okay, so then you're going to loosen that just with a flat blade screwdriver. Or if you want to use a socket on, I believe it's an 8mm. Okay, so now the hose clamp's off. You're going to do the same thing. Just give the hose a little twist and pull, and it should come right off. And then you're going to tilt it back so it doesn't leak, and just stand it up. We'll just stand it up. Yeah, oh, there we go. And it won't leak. And keep this hose up. We'll have to dry off this connector a little bit. It got a little wet. Okay.
nice microfiber.
So we're just gonna dry off the connector a little bit, so you don't want any corrosion from wet connectors. All right. And then where did we get this one from? Oh, FCP Euro. We got this. We're gonna compare it to the old one, make sure it's exactly the same, and then we're gonna put it on. Okay, so something to note, the one from FCP Euro does not come with a new cap, so you have to reuse your old cap. If it's no good, then you definitely want to order another one, but just make sure all the connections are the same. Make sure the connector on the bottom is the same before you go ahead and install it. But this one's the same, so we're gonna go ahead. Alright, so we're gonna start off by connecting the main radiator hose to the bottom. It's gonna go on the same way it came off. Just wiggle it on there. And then we're gonna slide up the hose clamp. Fell all the way down there somewhere. Give it the old reach around. Slide it up. Alright, and we're gonna just screw the old clamp back on. It's the same way it came off. Okay, now we're gonna flip it up and try and connect the connector. It should only go in one way, so you should be able to just snap it right on. Okay. Okay, so then these are just tabs. You kind of lift up on the front and they slide right in. And then it should stay in place. One more thing I forgot. When you're doing Audi and Volkswagen, they always have these arrows on the OEM hoses. You just want to line those up with the tab on the plastic. That'll keep it from the hose rubbing on things down here. Sometimes it'll move it out of the place of a rub point and you won't get a hole in your hose.
For the most part.
Alright, now you're just going to line this slot up with the mounting hole and put the screw back in. Okay. Okay, then we're just going to put on the top hose. And then we're going to line up the arrow with the top notch. Give it a little twist. And then just put the clamp back on. Okay, now top hose is on, bottom hose is on. The connector is plugged into the bottom. We just have to fill it up and then put the cap back on. And if anybody using this car has this car, make sure you use the right coolant, the G12. You can get G12 equivalents from AutoZone or from the dealer. Just don't put the green all makes all models in there because it causes corrosion in these cars. Alright, now we're going to reuse the old coolant. Just dump it right in because that shit is expensive. Oh, look at that. It looks so much better. The old one next to the new one. You can actually see how much coolant you have. Alright, now we're going to put the cap on, fire it up, and see if there's any leaks.
I know, I really fucked it.
Well, the hardest part about this is putting the cap back on, because now it's fell into the abyss. Okay, putting the cap on. Make sure it's on there good and tight, and fire it up, see if there's any leaks. But fire up, Johnny. Oh, should probably move that. And that's it. Any questions, you can comment below and I'll answer them.